ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaste, my dear friends. In this video, I am going to narrate chapter number 1 of Tripura Rahasya, or the mystery beyond the Trinity. This is a wonderful book on Advaita Vedanta and most preferred by Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi. Chapter 1. Salutation to Om, undifferentiated Brahma, the primal and blissful cause, the transcendental consciousness shining as the unique mirror of the wonderful universe. The one undifferentiated Brahma, signified by Om, polarizes as Sat Chit Ananda, taking shapes as Parameshwari, who in her crystal purity displays the variegated phenomena which gyrate in equipoise within her. Neutral Brahma and polarized Brahma are thus interchangeable. The idea of the mirror implies the non-separateness of the object from the subject, conscious being. Stanza 2. Harityana said, undisturbed you have heard, O Narada, the Mahatm, the glory of Sri Tripura, which teaches the way to transcendent. The glory of Sri Tripura, which teaches the way to transcendence. No. Thus begins the latter part of the book. The first part deals with a narrative of Devi Shakti Sri Tripura, her worship and her grace. Tripura literally means the three cities. They are the states Jagrat, Swapna and Susupti. The undercurrent of consciousness in all of them remaining unaffected is metaphorically called the resident mistress by name Sri Tripura, the procreative faulty generating new beings, and the link of altruistic love connecting the offspring to the parent are personified in the mother as the feminine termination of Tripura. The way to transcendence signifies that interest in Tripura purifies the mind and creates the zeal for inquiry into the truth. The listener is now fit for the ensuing discourse on wisdom. Stanza 3. I shall now discourse on wisdom, which is unique because one will be permanently freed from misery by hearing it. Stanza 4. This is the concentrated extract of the essence of the Vedic Vaishnava, Seva, Shakta, and Pasupata lore taken after a deep study of them all. Stanza 5 to 7. No other course will impress the mind so much as this one on wisdom, which was once taught by that illustrious master Dattatreya to Parsurama. The teaching was born of his own experience, logical in sense and quite unique in its nature. One who cannot apprehend Truth, even after hearing this, must be dismissed as a silly fool to be ranked among the insentient and accursed of God. Shiva himself cannot make such a one gain wisdom. Stanza 8. I now proceed to relate that incomparable teaching. Listen, oh, the lives of sages are most sacred. Stanza 9 to 11. Narada too showed me to learn the same from me, for service to sages enables one to apprehend their innate kindness, just as the sense of smell helps one to detect the intrinsic odor of musk, as Parsurama, the son of Jamdagni, already pure minded and pleasing to all, was listening to the gospel of Tripura from the lips of Dattatreya. He became abstracted in devotion, and so growing still for a time, his mind became still purer. Stanza 12 to 13. Then, as the mind relaxed, his eyes glowed in rapture, and his hair stood on end as if his ecstasy could not be contained within, but must escape through the very pores of his body. He then fell to the ground before his master Datta. Stanza 14. Again he arose, and being filled with ecstasy, his voice choked with emotion as he said, Lucky am I, blessed am I through the grace of Lord. Stanza 15. That expanse of grace called Shiva, here incarnate as my Guru, is indeed gracious to me, gaining whose pleasure even the Lord of creation looks a pygmy. Stanza 16. Does not the God of death verily merge into the self, if only one's master is pleased with one? That supreme being is gracious indeed, just in so much as is my master for reasons unknown to me. The meaning is that the Guru, being God, is mercy incarnate and requires no incentive to show grace. Stanza 17. The Guru's grace gained, I have gained all, thou has now kindly revealed to me the glory, thou has now kindly revealed to me the glory of Tripura. Stanza 18. I now desire fervently to worship her transcendental majesty. Kindly tell me, my master, how it is to be done. Stanza 19 to 22. Being thus requested, Guru Datta satisfied himself as to the fitness of Parsurama, whose zeal for and devotion to Tripura worship was intense, and he duly initiated him into the method of her worship. After initiation into the right method, which is more sacred than all others and leads directly to realization, Parsurama learned from the sweet lips of Sri Guru all the details regarding recitations, figures for worship, and different meditations, one after another, like a honey bee collecting honey from flowers. Bhargava, that is Parsurama, was overjoyed. Stanza 23. Being then permitted by his holy master, he trusted to practice the sacred lore. He went round his master, made obeisance to him, and retired to the Mahendra hill to walk round gently and peacefully, always keeping the center to one's right, is a sign of respect to the object in the center. Stanza 24. There, having built a clean and comfortable hermitage, he was engaged for 12 years in the worship of Tripura. Stanza 25. He incessantly contemplated the figure of that holy mother Tripura, performing at the same time his daily tasks and the special ceremonies connected with her worship and recitations. 12 years thus passed in a flash. Then on a certain day, while the son of Jamdagni was sitting at ease, he fell into a reverie. Stanza 27. In the past, I did not understand even a little of what Samvarta told me when I met him on the way. Stanza 28. I have also forgotten what I asked my Guru. I heard from him the gospel of Tripura. Stanza number 29. But it is not clear to me what Samvarta said in reply to my query on creation. Stanza 30. He mentioned the story of Kalakrit but went in no further, knowing that I was not fit for it. Stanza 31. Even now I understand nothing of the workings of the universe. Where does it rise from in all its grandeur? Stanza 32. Where does it end? How does it exist? I find it to be altogether transient. Stanza 33. But worldly happenings seem permanent. Why should that be? Such happenings seem strangely enough to be unconsidered. Stanza 34. How strange! They are on a par with the blind man led by the blind. Stanza 35. My own case furnishes an example in point. I do not even remember what happened in my childhood. Stanza 36. I was different in my youth, again different in my manhood, still more so now, and in this way my life is constantly changing. Stanza 37 and 38. What fruits have been reaped as the result of these changes is not clear to me. The end justifies the means as adopted by individuals according to their temperaments in different climes and in different times. What have they gained thereby? Are they themselves happy? Stanza 39. The gain is only that which is considered to be so by the unthinkable public. I, however, cannot deem it so, seeing that even after gaining the so called end, the attempts are repeated. Stanza since there is no abiding satisfaction in the gain, it is not worth having. Stanza 40 and 41. Well, having gained one purpose, why does man look for another? Therefore, what the man is always after should be esteemed the only real purpose, be it the gaining of pleasure or removal of pain. There can be neither so long as the incentive to effort is. Effort lasts. Stanza 42. The feeling of a need to work in order to gain happiness, being the index of misery, is the misery of miseries. How can there be pleasure or removal of pain so long as it continues? Stanza 43 to 45. Such pleasure is like that of soothing un- unguents placed on a scalded limb, or of the embrace of one's beloved when one is lying pierced by an arrow in the breast, or of the sweet melodies of music heard by an advanced consumptive. Stanza 46. Only those who need not engage in action are happy. They are perfectly content and self content, and they experience a happiness which extends to all the pores of the body. Stanza 47. Should there still be a few pleasurable moments for others, they are similar to those enjoyed by one who, while writhing with an abdominal pain, inhales the sweet odor of flowers. Stanza 48. How silly of people with innumerable obligations, ever too happy seeking such moments of pleasure in this world. Stanza 49. What shall I say of the prowess of indiscriminating man? They propose to reach happiness after crossing interminable hurdles of efforts. Stanza 50. A beggar in the street labors as much for happiness as a mighty emperor. Stanza 51 and 52. Each of them, having gained his end, feels happy and considers himself blessed as if he had reached the goal of life. I too have been unwittingly imitating them like a blind man, following the blind enough of this folly. I will at once return to that ocean of mercy, my master. Stanza 53. Learning from him what is to be known, I will cross the ocean of doubts after boarding the boat of his teachings. Stanza 54. Having resolved thus, Parshurama of pure mind immediately descended the hill in search of his master. Stanza 55. Quickly reaching the Gandhmadan mountain, he found the Guru sitting in Padmasana posture as if illuminating the whole world. Stanza 56. He fell prone before the master's seat and holding the Guru's feet with his hands pressed them to his head. Stanza 57. On Parshurama saluting him thus, Dattatreya gave him his blessings, his face lit with love, and he bade him rise, saying, Stanza 58. Child, rise up, I see you have returned after a long time. Tell me, how are you? Are you in good health? Stanza 59. He rose as commanded by his Guru and took his seat in front of and close to him as directed, joining in salutation his hands. Parshurama spoke with pleasure. Joining the two hands with fingers directed towards the object is a sign of respect. Stanza 60. Sri Guru, ocean of mercy, can anyone drenched with thy kindness ever be afflicted by ailments, even if destiny so decree? Stanza 61. How can the burning pains of illness touch one who is abiding in the refreshing moon of thy nectar like kindness? The moon is believed to be the store of nectar with which the Pitris, departed ancestors, feed themselves. Stanza 62 to 64. I feel happy in body and mind, being refreshed by thy kindness. Nothing afflicts me except the desire to remain in unbroken contact with thy holy feet. The very sight of thy holy feet has made me perfectly happy, but there are a few long standing doubts in my mind. Stanza 65. With thy kind permission, I desire to propound them. Stanza 66. Hearing the words of Parshurama, Dattatreya, the ocean of kindness, was pleased and said to him. Stanza 67. Ask at once, O Bhargava, what you so much want to know and what you have so long been thinking about. I am pleased with your devotion and shall answer your questions with pleasure. Thus ends the first chapter known as the interrogation of Bhargava in Sri Tripura Rahasya. At this stage, I complete this chapter. Thank you for watching this video. Namaskar, my dear friends. Namaste. Next video number 3 will start with chapter number 2. Obligatory sense towards action condemned and investigation recommended. Thank you. Namaste. Namaskar. Thank you. Namaste, Namaskar.